In today's hyper-connected world, a new and deeply disturbing threat has emerged: the 764 network. This dark evolution in online crime targets our children, weaponizing everyday digital platforms. The FBI has launched one of its largest investigations ever, mobilizing resources nationwide. This isn't about simple scams, it's psychological warfare against minors, as described by Attorney General Pam Bondi. Reports from parents and victims revealed a coordinated effort, with predators using sophisticated tactics to groom and control. The FBI quickly realized this was a sprawling, interconnected web, not isolated incidents. With major arrests and new legislation on the horizon, the fight is at a critical juncture, but the battle is far from over. Understanding this enemy is the first step to reclaiming our digital spaces and protecting our children. The 764 network isn't a traditional crime syndicate. There are no secret handshakes, no coded tattoos, and no single leader calling the shots. Instead, it's a loosely organized global collective, bound together by a toxic and deeply disturbing ideology that transcends borders and languages. These individuals exploit the very same social media, chat apps, and gaming platforms that our children and teens use every single day, places that should be safe, but are instead turned into dangerous hunting grounds. They blend in, hiding behind fake profiles and anonymous usernames, making it nearly impossible to spot them until it's too late. Their methods are aggressive and psychological, specializing in coercion, manipulation, and relentless pressure that can break down even the most resilient young minds. Victims are forced into situations that no one should ever have to face: sexual exploitation, self-harm, and even acts of violence, sometimes broadcast live for the network's twisted gratification, turning suffering into a spectacle. The trauma inflicted on these victims is deep, lasting, and often invisible to those around them, leaving scars that may never fully heal. Some predators go so far as to push their victims toward suicide, exploiting their pain for their own amusement or status within the group. The FBI is currently investigating over 350 individuals connected to this network, a number that continues to grow as more cases come to light. This staggering figure highlights not only the scale of the threat, but also the urgency with which law enforcement must act. Members of the network share tactics, victim information, and even scripts for manipulation, creating a playbook for abuse that spreads rapidly online. This amplifies the threat, allowing new abusers to learn from the most experienced and making it even harder to stop the cycle of harm. The fight against 764 is not just a battle against a group of criminals, it's a fight against a dangerous online ideology that thrives on secrecy, manipulation, and fear. And it's an ideology that continues to grow, thriving in the internet's darkest corners, always searching for its next victim. 764 predators followed a chilling playbook to break down children's defenses, exploiting the anonymity and reach of the internet to target vulnerable young people. Their tactics were methodical, calculated, and disturbingly effective. It started with fake profiles and grooming, building trust, offering sympathy, and creating a false sense of friendship. Predators would spend weeks, sometimes months, learning about their targets' lives, interests, and insecurities, all to make their approach seem genuine and safe. Once trust was gained, requests escalated, first a seemingly innocent photo, then a secret, and soon after, threats of exposure. This is the classic pattern of sextortion, where the victim is manipulated into compliance through fear and shame. Victims, trapped by fear of humiliation or retaliation, complied with increasingly extreme demands. These included not only sending explicit images, but also performing sexual acts, and, in some cases, self-harm on camera, all while feeling completely alone. Some were coerced into harming pets, deepening the psychological trauma and making the victims feel even more isolated and desperate. Predators worked to isolate victims from their support systems, convincing them that no one would believe them or offer help. They used manipulation and lies to drive a wedge between children and their families or friends. The network specifically targeted children struggling with loneliness or low self-esteem, sharing manipulation tips and strategies among themselves to refine their tactics and increase their success rate. This collaborative approach made online spaces dangerous minefields for unsuspecting families, who often had no idea that predators were lurking behind friendly profiles and innocent messages. The cycle of abuse was designed to be isolating and terrifying, leaving victims feeling utterly powerless, ashamed, and unable to reach out for help. Parents often had no idea of the danger lurking just a click away, as predators blended seamlessly into the digital landscape of everyday life. The network's methods were as calculated as they were cruel, leaving a trail of trauma and fear that could last a lifetime. The FBI's investigation began with scattered reports, but patterns soon emerged. Similar tactics, language, and demands. Digital forensics revealed the 764 name in chat logs and profiles, connecting cases nationwide. The FBI's cyber division centralized evidence, mapping out the network's web by cross-referencing usernames and data. Investigators sifted through terabytes of encrypted data, navigating VPNs and hidden identities in a global game of cat and mouse. Tech companies became crucial partners, providing user data and communication records under subpoena. This public-private partnership was key to unmasking predators hiding behind screens. The investigation quickly went global, with the FBI working alongside Interpol, Europol, and local police worldwide. Legal attachés in U.S. embassies coordinated international efforts, ensuring no safe haven for abusers. The digital trail had become a global manhunt. As the investigation intensified, digital ghosts became real people. In April 2025, two alleged network leaders, Leonidas Varagianis in Greece and Prasan Nepal in North Carolina, were arrested. Both faced charges of operating an international child exploitation enterprise, with potential life sentences. Their capture disrupted the network's command structure and showed that no one was beyond the law's reach. International cooperation was vital, especially in Varagianis' arrest abroad. More arrests followed, including Dong Hwan Kim in Los Angeles, accused of coercing minors and extorting explicit content. Each arrest removed a predator and weakened the network's infrastructure. With hundreds still under investigation, law enforcement's commitment remains unwavering. The 764 revelations jolted Congress into action, exposing gaps in outdated laws. Lawmakers moved quickly, introducing bipartisan bills to give prosecutors stronger tools and harsher penalties. On December 9, 2025, Senators Grassley and Durbin unveiled a legislative package targeting networks like 764. The three bills, the ECHO Act, SAFE Act, and Stop Sextortion Act, form a comprehensive strategy. They create new offenses, update sentencing, and increase penalties for online coercion and sextortion. This legislative push signals a national priority protecting children in the digital age. Law enforcement and lawmakers are now united against online exploitation. At the heart of the new laws is the ECHO Act, targeting the psychological abuse central to 764's tactics. It criminalizes coercing minors into explicit acts or self-harm, closing critical legal loopholes. The act proposes life sentences for offenses leading to a victim's death, and up to 30 years for other severe abuses. The SAFE Act updates sentencing for child sexual abuse material, ensuring consistent, severe penalties. The Stop Sextortion Act doubles penalties for threats to distribute explicit images. Together, these bills modernize the law, giving prosecutors the tools to charge and deter abusers. By criminalizing coercion itself, the legislation sends a clear message. This conduct will not be tolerated. If passed, these laws will be a powerful new weapon for law enforcement. The 764 case proved that online crime knows no borders. The FBI prioritized international cooperation, working with agencies worldwide to track suspects and share intelligence. The arrest of Varagianis in Greece showcased the power of global partnerships. Legal attaché offices in U.S. embassies and organizations like Interpol enabled swift, coordinated action. Interpol's secure data sharing allowed police in 196 countries to identify and apprehend suspects. This global dragnet makes it harder for predators to hide. Beyond arrests, agencies share best practices for investigations and victim support. The FBI's commitment to collaboration is our best defense against a global threat. The message is clear. There's nowhere left for online predators to hide. While authorities fight on a grand scale, the first and most important line of defense is at home, within the family. The digital world can be overwhelming, but parents and caregivers play a vital role in keeping children safe online. Open, honest communication with your children is crucial. Ask about their online lives, the games they play, and the people they interact with. Let them know they can always come to you with questions or concerns, no matter how small. Building trust is key to ensuring they feel comfortable sharing their experiences. Set clear rules for internet use, use parental controls, limit screen time, time, and keep devices in common areas where you can supervise. Establish boundaries together and revisit them as your child grows and technology evolves. Teach kids never to share personal information such as their full name, address, or school, and remind them not to trust online-only friends. Encourage them to think critically about what they post and who they interact with. Explain grooming and sextortion in age-appropriate terms so they understand the risks without feeling afraid. Empower them to block and report anyone who makes them uncomfortable, and reassure them that their safety is your top priority. If your child seems distressed, withdrawn, or secretive about their devices, take it seriously. Changes in behavior can be a sign that something is wrong, and your support can make all the difference. If exploitation is suspected, stay calm and reassure your child that they are not to blame. Preserve any evidence, such as messages or images, and contact law enforcement immediately for help. Report incidents to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children or your local authorities. Acting quickly can prevent further harm and help protect other children as well. Quick action can protect your child and help bring online predators to justice. Your involvement is essential in stopping exploitation and supporting your child's recovery. Awareness and vigilance at home are powerful tools against online threats. Stay informed about the latest risks and talk regularly with your children about their digital lives. Together, we can reclaim the digital world for our children, creating a safer, more supportive environment where they can learn, connect, and thrive.